Just 3 years ago, Cat was the best player to build around in the NBA. That is, at least according to a survey of NBA GMs. This season, the Timberwolves will try to make their name in the crowded Western Conference with the combination of Karl Anthony Towns and his good friend D'Angelo Russell. With both of these stars, one is a guard and one is a big, who makes the most sense for them in the upcoming draft? The answer might surprise you. Hello amigos, welcome to Takes en Fuego. Today we take a look at that coveted number 1 pick and how it could be most effectively used for the Minnesota Timberwolves. D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns go back. They knew each other as they came up through AAU, entered the NBA in the same year, and were the number 1 and number 2 pick in the 2015 NBA draft. They even posed for this Slam magazine cover together. At the end of the shoot, Russell said, "We got to do this again when we're all on the same team." Well, 2 out of 3 of the pieces are already on the same team, 1 to go. Devin Booker is under contract until 2024, so the odds of him joining his 2 friends anytime soon seems unlikely. And in the bubble, he just averaged over 30 points per game, leading the Suns to an 8-0 stretch inside the bubble, making for one of the most exciting teams there. And despite that 8-0 run, despite his great play, the Suns just weren't good enough. It has been a trend lately. Here are some of the draft picks by the Suns. Dragan Bender drafted 4th overall, Josh Jackson drafted 4th overall, and Georgios Papagiannis. Well, they did trade him along with 2 more draft picks and Bogdan Bogdanovic to Sacramento for Marquise Chris. The Suns do have DeAndre Ayton on their team, who is certainly a serviceable draft pick, but they also left Luka on the board. The front office in Phoenix has led to misstep after misstep, and you would have to wonder how much more a star in the NBA can take. Apparently, at least 4 more years. Unless we're in the player empowerment era, which we are. The player empowerment era has done a lot of things for a lot of players. It got Anthony Davis to team up with LeBron James after he demanded out. It got DeAndre Jordan a $10 million a year contract because Kevin Garnett wanted him to. It got Paul George out of Oklahoma City with 3 years left on his deal. What's another year for Devin Booker? The Suns aren't even that close to competing in the crowded Western Conference. Wouldn't the move for them to be to bottom out, accumulate draft capital, and make smart moves with it? It seems to be the only way small market teams can stand to compete. With Devin Booker and the squad they put around him, they seem to have one piece of a championship roster, but would need several more in order to actually compete. And how are they going to go about getting those pieces? Booker just played his ass off in Orlando, but he's one man, and as far as best players in the league go, he's fairly far down that list, at least when you compare to the first and second tier stars of the league. So doesn't it stand to reason the Phoenix Suns should just blow it up? The Minnesota Timberwolves could take Lamelo Ball. They could take James Wiseman. But the best thing the Minnesota Timberwolves could do with that number 1 overall pick is include it in a package with young talent. The Brooklyn Nets pick they just traded for in future draft capital and send it to Phoenix to reunite the 3 stars and friends. This would not solve all of the problems for the Timberwolves. Of players who played over 35 games last season, Karl Anthony Towns had the 9th worst defensive rating in the NBA. This is a problem. What is also a problem is D'Angelo Russell is barely better. When D'Angelo Russell was on the court as point guard for the Timberwolves, opponents shot 58%. This is only better than 5% of NBA players. Booker is slightly better, but definitely not great. Opponents shot 54.5% as an effective field goal percentage against him, only better than 28% of players. But the offense of the Timberwolves would be incredible. Either D'Angelo Russell or Devin Booker bringing up the ball every possession to begin running pick and rolls, spreading the court for isolation with D'Angelo or Booker, and making you guard them from 3 in the process. Both Booker and Russell shot right around the NBA average from 3 last year at 36%. Cat did even better, shooting 41%. As an effective field goal percentage, that's like shooting 61.5% from 2. And with the defense needing to pay attention to each of these players, there's no reason to think it doesn't get even better. Building around them will be relatively easy. We saw the types of players that could help this team come up off waivers this year. We always speak out about 3-and-D guys. In this instant, they could benefit from wings that can only make a 3-point shot and only play defense. Just plug in 2 serviceable wings and the offense should be running on all cylinders. Hopefully, they're able to play defense as well. For the Suns, it would be an opportunity to hit the reset button. Look, it is what it is. He's under contract for 4 more years, and it's fairly clear he wouldn't be interested in re-signing in Phoenix unless something drastic changes after that. So the real truth of it is the clock is ticking until he demands a trade, where he would have the leverage like so many other players before. Effectively, trade me now and get something, or let me play out of this contract and walk away with nothing. If the Suns are able to get the haul of young players and draft picks Minnesota could offer, the number 1 pick in the draft, Josh Okogie, Jarrett, Culver, the Brooklyn Nets pick this year, being they have Ayton, it would not likely be Wiseman, but say Anthony Edwards or Lamelo Ball as a primary playmaker, the Brooklyn pick, and some future first-round draft picks, they could have a haul of talented prospects on the table in Phoenix. Not that this would be off the table at a later date. Say Booker waits a year and requests a trade privately, the Wolves take Anthony Edwards and he starts showing flashes of being a star, the Wolves could still offer him in a package with other young talent and draft picks at a later date. If I was the Timberwolves, I would throw an offer over to Phoenix and see if they're willing to work from there. What would you do? Would you take a prospect in the draft? If you're Phoenix, would you shop Booker to see what's out there for him? Or continue to try to find the pieces in free agency? For more videos, including who likely will be actually drafted number 1 overall, check out the video on the screen and be sure to subscribe, or I will hire the Phoenix GM for your team.